Hello and welcome again to another episode of Battle Ready, where today we thought we'd talk about how do you evaluate units? How do you know if a unit is good or if a unit is bad?
I typically talk to my code right.
Yeah, your code right tells you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do some
So-
sweet nothings in the air.
There's a lot of units in the game, right? And some armies, Slaves to Darkness, Stormcast. I mean, there's a lot.
Gits.
There are a lot of Gits. Oh yeah, Gits for sure. A lot of war scrolls. And so the question is, all right, how do you know which ones are good? And it's an important question because a unit might be good at one thing and terrible at another, right? So Drake, when you're evaluating units, what do you do?
I see what looks shiny and I pick it.
Okay, well, there is that, right? If you just want to bring out the models that look the coolest, that's not to say it's going to be the most effective on the tabletop.
Absolutely not.
But it might be the most fun.
Yeah,
because you'll be playing with the models you like. But I think that if you want to be a little bit more effective, if you want to see if a model is effective on the tabletop, not just looking cool, I think if you want an effective army, you sort of have to think about what you want your army to do. And that can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different armies. So we're not going to get into every army here. But I think there are a couple of categories that every army should be looking at. The first one is hammers.
Yep. What's going to do the damage?
Second is what is called anvils, although
what's going to take the damage.
Yeah. And then third, you've got probably support heroes. And then fourth, you've got
the deck chair sitters.
So let's go through each of those real quick. Hammers.
Yay.
Hammers are the funnest.
Yeah.
Because Warhammer is about killing units.
Yeah.
Right? And hammers are how you do that. So what a hammer is you want something that's got high attack, high number of attacks, ideally. Good 2 hit and 2 wounds, so like 3s and 3s or better, right? And
big damage numbers.
Big damage, multi-damage if you can.
And rend.
Right? And rend.
All
sure, why not? Let's put everything on there.
Yeah.
Right? It's got ward, it's got save, But the idea is you've got something that can dish out a lot of damage. Now, some hammers, like in Stormcast, or no, not the ghouls, but some hammers also have good armor. Right? Some hammers might also have good wards, but really, but some don't. Some are glass cannons, right? Ghouls, daughters, and so the idea is you need to get in there and hit really hard, and their defense is you're going to be dead.
Yep.
And turns out dead units don't fight back
unless they're death.
Yeah, maybe the death units, they do come back.
They do.
Yeah,
a lot.
But that's the idea. Is so you're looking for something that can fulfill that role. Some stuff is better than others, right? And so you want to look at all the combat stats, and you also want to look at how survivable are they on the swing back.
Yeah.
Because while you would like to kill everything off, right? You got a good cavalry charge where you're plus damage on the charge or something.
What's that like?
Right? You get something really good, but they might get caught out, right? So you might have a hammer that's like, oh, this is my all gas, no brakes. I'm just going to fling them at the enemy and see what happens. And then you might have like another hammer or a sub hammer that does good damage, but you're like, well, if these guys get caught out in the wild,
they've been cut out.
cut out. If they're just out there and somebody charged into them and I wasn't expecting it, at least they can hold their own, right? They don't have to be on the charge to do damage. The other thing you want to look at is abilities. Stuff with combat abilities tends to be good, right? Because they're going to be doing something in the combat phase when they're fighting, right? So you want something that's like, if they're in combat, they get plus damage. If they're near a hero, they can, attack one after the other. If they're, whatever it is, right? All right, so that's the hammer. That's sort of the easiest one. Second one is the anvil. I don't know that we see as much of this in 4th edition as we have in 3rd, but it still
everything
exists.
just dies.
Yeah, stuff dies. This is a very killy game, especially with the extra, like anti-hero, anti-rend, all that stuff, plus rend. But the idea is you've got a unit that one way or another does not get killed.
Yeah.
So either they've got a lot of health, or they've got really good armor, or there's a lot of meat there, or maybe like the old horrors where there's just so many of them.
Oh,
Yeah, they had I think a 6-up save, but
many.
there was just so many of them you couldn't chew through them all.
It's like 80.
So you
wounds.
might have an anvil that just has really good armor and doesn't take that many wounds. You might have an anvil, sometimes they call it a tar pit, that just has it doesn't have good saves, but it has so many wounds.
So many boys.
That your hammer can't get through it, right? And the idea is you want to gum up the works, right? Rather than have their hammer come in and kill off all your guys, you want to have something in the way that can take the charge, not be completely obliterated, and hold out against them. Ideally, tie them up for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
But realistically, for a few turns
Mm-hmm.
until their hammer just destroys you, because this game is
Very killing.
very killing. It's pretty rare that you get a tar pit up there against a hammer and the hammer doesn't come out on top.
Yeah.
Right.
Unless you support.
So when you're doing that though, now you want to look at the defensive side, right? You don't care so much about the 2-hit and 2-wound because that's not really their purpose. Good hit, 2-hit, and 2-wound is good, right?
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing.
Whittle down the hammer.
But their purpose, now you're going to be looking at the defensive side. What's their save like?
Mhm.
What's their ward like?
Any defensive abilities?
Yes, and do they have combat abilities or passives that give them bonuses? Like, oh, if they're within your territory, they get a +1 to their save. Oh, if they're
shooting combat.
Yeah, shooting combat's a good one too. Yeah, because lots of times the hammers will try to go into the shooting stuff just to take it off the board, and even if they get stuck, at least you're not shooting.
Yeah.
And most shooting stuff is not great in combat. Well, I mean, it's not good in combat.
Yeah.
So once you get in combat with it, the fact that you haven't killed it is bad because you're not, your side's stuck too.
Mm-hmm.
But they're not shooting you anymore.
Yeah.
So you're getting what you want, basically, right? But if you have something that can shoot in combat,
you're still getting shot.
That's good, right? So that's a tar pit or a anvil that's going to be a little bit prickly.
Yeah.
You also want to see there's a lot of units in this game that have some kind of anti-charge.
Yeah.
So there's units like Ardboys that just have anti-charge, right? So when you come in, you could take some damage. Then there's stuff that's like in the charge phase, you come in, you take some mortals.
Yeah.
There's stuff that if you charge in, then it soups up. Oh yeah, it forces you to strike last. That's a good one, right? So stuff like that. Maybe even if they aren't the hardest hammer or anvil in the world, maybe some of the stuff like that will still fulfill the purpose by degrading the attacking unit and making that hammer less good.
Mm-hmm.
All right, support heroes.
I like those.
Support heroes are good.
I probably have too many.
Well, Death uses a lot.
This is true.
Death uses a lot.
So many.
I think there are some good things about support heroes and some things and a lot of negatives. A lot of negatives. So let's talk about the good. So lots of times heroes will have a unique ability, right? They'll have some ability that you can't get access to otherwise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's something like, oh, I built my whole army around cavalry, and this hero buffs cavalry, then that's a hero you might want to take, right? That's good because it's going to make your other units more effective. And there's lots of heroes. You have a lot of infantry. There's an infantry buffer guy. You have some guys that aren't that great, but now you've got a guy who can teleport them, right? All kinds of stuff like that. And maybe you bring a wizard, maybe not. But you have something that's going to make everything else more effective. The downside is many heroes, although not all, increase your drops, right? Which means you won't get to choose if you're going first or second. And every hero so if you just look at a hero, it's a lot of points for not very many wounds, right? So what could have been a unit's worth of wounds to slow down people
is
now a tiny guy, right? And many heroes, not all, but many heroes don't have that great save. It's easy to catch them out in the open. They can get shot if they're not around another unit. It can be a little bit of a pain. So although a lot of heroes look cool, a lot of the models for heroes are really cool. I mean, they spend some time making those models look good. If you have too many on the battlefield, it really starts to hamper your army because now you don't have enough space for the units that are actually going to do things. And you don't have enough space for and your army is easier to kill because your whole army, the wound count is a lot lower, right? Because for what could have been a 10-man unit or 20-man unit, 10 or 20 wounds,
Yep,
you've got a
6.
unit that's worth 6, exactly, right? And in this game, particularly with the plus rens of anti-hero or anti-magic or whatever,
and with the new GHB coming up, that makes stuff more killy.
it's really easy to miss one thing, have some attacker get into your hero, and then yeah, dead. One thing. Oh, let's talk about the last question. Then I'll do a subcategory. I thought of one more subcategory. All right, the last one is deck chair sitters. So sometimes you just need people to sit on objectives in your home territory.
I don't believe this part.
Drake doesn't do that.
No, everything needs to do damage. All of it.
I think the importance of deck chair sitters is you need somebody to hang back, because a lot of armies in this game, have teleports. They have deep strikes.
Pain of my existence.
And if you move everything forward, it's way easy for some little like a little mini unit, to come and jump on your objective, and now they're getting the points. And then you either have to just to give it up and be like, okay, well,
this objective's over there.
I guess he gets that objective, even though he committed very little to it because it's just a little tiny unit. Or I have to come back or split my forces to take care of that, and now my forward progress is weaker, right? Now, a good deck chair sitter, what makes a good deck chair sitter?
Cheap.
Cheap is probably the biggest one. But I would say, in addition to being cheap,
move fast.
No, I don't think you need movement at all. You're going to plant them on your home objective, and they're just going to hang out there.
Oh, I thought.
And it's okay if they run, right? Because they're not doing anything else. So I don't think you need to look at movement. But some stuff, like the Hobgrots, right? They have this thing where when you charge them, they throw their grenades, they do a little bit of damage, right? And so I feel like anything like that where, this unit's job is just to stay on this objective, and that's all. But if something breaks through and something comes into me, maybe I can do a little damage on the way in. Maybe I can slow them down just a little bit. Maybe I've got an ability that makes them harder to charge, right? And so there could be a lot of things that help. So abilities like that can passively keep people off the objective just by you being on it is good, while you also screen from any deep strikes, right? I got my sub.
What's your sub?
So this sort of goes under hammer territory, but I think there's a role, especially if you have, like, not every armor is going to have units like this.
This is true.
But especially if you have a unit that is good at capturing objectives. Like, there are some units that are a little hammery, and then like on the charge, or when they're on an objective they don't control, or something like that, they get bonuses. So they get better control score. Yeah, Chaos Warriors get better hits. Right? And so you might want a unit that is specifically there to capture objectives.
Arcanine Company just gets +1 hit if they're on an objective.
Yeah. So I think stuff like that is really good, because in this game, at least in competitive play or match play, in match play, it's how you stand on circles. And so you want guys that stand on circles really good. That's true. But you want guys that stand on circles really good. And you want guys that are really good at making them not stand on circles.
Yeah.
So kill those guys. So yes, I think that's an important thing to look at in the hammer. Another good way to stop people from standing on circles is just to kill them.
This is true.
So just have super good damage. Nothing wrong with that. But there might be things where their hits and wounds and the damage they do is fine. Maybe not crazy good, fine. But they back it up with abilities that say, hey, when you're on an objective, when you get on an objective you don't control, when you're charging onto an objective, something like that, you get a bunch of bonuses. And those tend to be good, because then you decide, okay, that's what this unit's going to do. I'm going to have this unit over here for just murderation, and then I'm going to have this unit over here who's just going to clog his way into their deck chair sitters, right? And then use my abilities to overcome. So I think that you need to think about those roles, and then you need to think about what else you want in your army, right? Somebody like Tzeentch, who can swippy swap guys off the board, on the board, off the board, on the board. Maybe you have a different thing, right? Maybe you want some units specifically to make the best use of that ability, right? Maybe you want units specifically that are good to deep strike. So like the Annihilators in the Stormcast, right? So, and you're like, okay, well, maybe they don't fit one of those other roles exactly, but they're still good. They still work really well with my battle trait, so I'm going to put them in.
Annihilators.
Annihilators are hammers, though, for sure.
They have hammers.
They have grand hammers, yeah.
They whacked Usharan.
So I think that that's part of it. So every army is going to be a little bit different. But I think when you're building your list, you need to look at it and think, okay, who's going to protect my objective?
This is true.
Okay, and then what units are good at that? All right. Who's going to get objectives?
That's my favorite part.
Right. All right, what units are good at that? All right, what battle tactics have I chosen, and what units are going to be good at that? For example, did I take scouts and now I need to have stuff that's very mobile and hard to catch in combat, like stuff that can retreat is really and not take damage, right? Really good as a scout.
Skaven.
And stuff that's fast. Yeah, Skavens, right?
Tzeentch.
You could also say, I don't know if Tzeentch would be good. Because only the stuff that starts on the battlefield is a scout. The stuff that comes in from the heavens is not a scout.
Oh, that makes it way harder.
Yeah. Anyway, but you're gonna try when deciding how if a unit is good or not. There's really no like, this unit is good, this unit is bad, with very rare exceptions. It's almost always this unit is good at
one thing.
This unit is bad at that thing, but it might be good at this thing.
Yeah.
So the trick isn't to see which units are good and bad and be like, oh, I put all the good units in, I'll win now. The trick is to say, all right, what am I trying to do? And now what units are best at helping me accomplish those goals? And I think that's the most important for effectiveness on the tabletop, rather than just looking at it and saying, I'm going to put in the coolest looking stuff, or I'm just going to put in the stuff with the best stats. You should be looking at, and then that way when you come to the table too, you'll be thinking, all right, drop number 1, that's my anvil, so I'm going to put that over here. Oh, drop number 2, that's my hammer. So I'm going to wait and see what he drops first, and that way I can position it. Oh, my first drop should be my deck chasers, right? Put those out, because those guys aren't going anywhere, and you're not going to learn anything from that drop, right? But that way you've got ideas from the very beginning, from deployment phase. You already know what you're trying to do. Cool. Other thoughts on good models?
I just look at the stat lines.
Yeah.
If they have big whack.
There's also the smooth brain way of doing it. And that is,
if your brain is smooth, you're immune to chaos corruption.
Hey, there you go.
Just slides right off.
So, in addition to the smooth brain way, don't let anyone ever tell you that that's a bad or a wrong way to play.
That's the correct way.
Because if that's the way that you have the most fun, and you don't really care, who gets the most points at the end, because honestly, who cares?
It's usually this guy.
And you just want to have the most fun you can have, then play it that way. Then all the units are the right unit.
Yeah.
Well, if they have good stats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big shiny, small shiny numbers.
Well, let us know in the comments below, how do you determine a good unit versus a bad unit? And how do you look at, we've had this discussion before, where Drake will say, oh, that unit's trash. And I'll be like, well, they're not a hammer, but they might be good. They're trash.
And they're trash.
But they might have something else they're good at. You know what? They're special. They're street smart. They're just not book smart. They're street smart.
Swat.
All right. Well, let us know your thoughts. I'd be interested to see what goes into your lists and what you think about makes a good or a bad unit, and any particular standouts from your armies. This has been another episode of Battle Ready. Thanks so much for watching.